Right, lads. Well, I would say you're the three youngsters on the trip, but given it's a relatively young group anyway, I guess that's not necessarily how you feel. But how has it been this first 3 or 4 days coming away with the senior team for the first time?
Oh, it's been brilliant. It's a great experience for all three of us. I mean, I think if we would have looked back a couple of years ago, and especially for me and Matty, I mean, I was playing with Matty when I was 6 years old. I mean, to come this far, like in the time we've been at Southampton, it's great for us and something that I'm sure all three of us are really proud of.
When you found out you were going, Matt, was it a mixture of emotions? Obviously, a little bit of you must surely be nervous, fearful about going away with the senior team for the first time, but the rest of you, I guess, was just excited.
Yeah, of course I was going to be nervous. Like we had to sing because it's our first time away, so that was pretty nerve-wracking. But on the other hand, it's exciting times for all three of us, so yeah, it's good.
Obviously, I wasn't going to bring the singing up, but but since Matt's done it, Macca, I believe you were first up, and then the other two of you followed pretty soon. Jake, from your point of view, how did the singing side of it go?
Singing's always a tough challenge for me, but to be fair, the singing in front of the first team's not the hardest one I've ever done. I'd probably say singing in front of the 21s was the most difficult for me, but no, it was a good laugh, and yeah, I found it quite funny doing it the other night.
One thing we have all discovered is that singing may not be a talent, but piano certainly seems to be.
Yeah, it's just a little secret talent of mine, something that I practice when I'm sort of got a bit of spare time.
I mean, it is all about things like that, isn't it, this trip away? As much as people at home might only see training sessions, might only see matches, you're around each other 24/7, and that's with senior players, young players. Is that good for you as a group, to get to see the things in your fellow teammates and senior players that you might not normally see when you're at home?
Definitely, I think especially in pre-season, I think team bonding and stuff like that is great, especially when we've got like new management and staff in. I mean, it's great for us all to sort of get to know each other, especially for us three being around the first team for the first sort of like real time, and you get in time together. It's really important to bond together and create good relationships for the seasons to come.
You've obviously all had experience from training with the first team last season and in previous seasons, but as you say, Macca, it's been more extended, hasn't it, since coming back this summer? How have you found working with the team on an extended basis, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's better. Like as I've trained with the first team last season, all of us pretty used to the tempo and that now, so it's all good.
And Jake, a little bit different for you, because I believe you were up in the northeast of England when suddenly the call came through, and you had to, I don't know how you got down, but you got down in time to come away with us over to Belgium.
Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. I had my flight cancelled on the day I was told, so I had to hire a car, drive all the way down. So yeah, this pre-season's a bit full on for me at the moment. So, but I feel I'm dealing with it well. Yeah, the tempo of the first team's a lot higher, and the regime and training is a lot more difficult. So it's important to take times like this just to proper sit down and recover and rest. But no, I've loved it. It's been very enjoyable for me.
You did have a little sniff of being around the first team picture towards the end of last year, didn't you? Did you go away in the summer thinking that this is something you wanted to try and kick on and do again when you came back for pre-season?
Yeah, definitely. I know obviously all the boys would have known you have to keep yourself in shape, because it was in all of our minds to get the first team. So obviously we all know the tempo's a lot higher, so keeping your fitness up was a big thing for me, because I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but the best I could do for myself was just prepare for anything.
You two were both on the bench for the Bristol City game, I think it was, which seems a long time ago now. How was that as an experience for both of you? I mean, I guess that's your first real taste of a first team environment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. I think at the time I said it was a surreal experience, and that's exactly what it was for me and Matt. Like I said, me and him have been right through the system from under 8s. So to get to the point where you're at the top and where you're aiming to be is it's a great feeling, and we just want to keep reaching that and keep tasting that feeling. And now we're here away with the squad in Belgium. I mean, I know personally I want it now more than ever, so I'm just going to keep going, and so all three of us to do what we can to stay here.
As Macca says, Matt, I mean, it's great, isn't it, really, to see a group of lads, especially you two, but obviously Jake, you came into the system slightly later, but to progress for so many years, we're talking about 10 years you two have been together, to then reach this stage so close to the first team, it must be something quite special, surely.
Yeah, it's like a dream come true, really. Like, as a kid, you always thought, like, growing up thinking you want to be a footballer, and like going through like the age groups from under 8s upwards has just been amazing.
Jake, when you look at the fact that Southampton has got such a reputation for producing players, we look at the amount of young players who made their debuts last season, does it add a little bit of expectation, a bit of maybe even pressure to young players that if you're here, it's going to be a fair old chance that you'll get a chance and you have to take it?
I guess there's a certain amount of pressure, but I think there's a big level of motivation for especially young players like us as well, because this club, as everyone knows, it brings through the young players. So from an early age, you need to start preparing yourself for like the high tempo football and everything. But yeah, there's going to be pressure. There's pressure in every age group, wherever you're at. But no, the motivation's immense because it's such a clear pathway at this club.
Is the year group above you a bit of an inspiration, really? I mean, some would say it was a bit of a freak year for so many people to come out of that age group and make their debuts. You know, everyone's seen what Luke's gone on to do, Callum, James Ward-Prowse, Harry Reid now as well. Do they inspire you to do similar things yourselves?
Oh, 100%. I think if you look at the age group above from us and last season, seeing people like Callum, Prowse, Luke, Harry and people like that, and the thing is people don't know is that there's more coming through. I mean, it's scary really to think about it, that year, I mean, the amount of people they've got that are successful and that are still here and kicking on in the first team, it's scary really, and it definitely motivates us.
There's a little bit of expectation on you, Matt, because this club seems to have a strange habit of producing left backs. Everyone's seen Luke, Gareth Bale before him, Wayne Bridge before him. Do people almost know your name before they've even seen you play games? Is that a strange thing to deal with?
Yeah, you could say that. Loads of fans have been tweeting me saying that you knew Luke Shaw, Gareth Bale, etc. So it's a lot of pressure, but the pressure I'm looking forward to. So, yeah.
Jake, how are you finding that? I guess every young player, when they start to come into the first team in this day and age of social media and websites and constant coverage, it's something that every young player is going to have to deal with in terms of attention, expectation. How have you found it so far?
Yeah, I found it quite good really. Obviously you're going to get attention from Twitter, Instagram and all that stuff. It's the society we live in, but no, it's all good attention, unless you're silly enough to do something wrong. But I think that's where everyone has to be careful with social media websites like that. But no, it's good that the fans show interest in us. We definitely appreciate like the tweets and the little comments. We all appreciate it very much.
Maka, let's talk about last night then. Wherever your career goes from here, I guess you will always look back at the first time you made a senior appearance. That happened to come last night out in Holland, in fact, just over the border. Will it be a special night, a special memory for you wherever you go?
Oh, definitely. I mean, all my family are from Southampton. All my friends, they all go to the Northern Stand every week, like all my best friends. So it's something that I can be very proud of, and that my mates and my family will be proud of me. And at the end of the day, that's what you're doing it for, and to make your family proud and to try and fulfil your dreams. And definitely that's something that I've dreamt about since I was a little boy. So yeah, no matter where my career goes now, I will always remember that moment.
How did you find it, Matt? It seemed like you took to it like a duck to water, really. It was a good performance from you, I thought.
Yeah, just when the manager gives you a chance, you just got to take it, and hopefully last night I showed the manager what I can do, so yeah, it's good.
And the training side of it, how's that been Jake? Sort of, training with these players, it looks like quite an intense sort of system you're being put through by the new manager. How have you found that?
Yeah, it's been difficult, of course. Like I've mentioned before, the tempo, the quality of this team is a lot higher than before. But I think it's just when you get up to the pace of it, it starts becoming easier. But it's just working at certain things, and you'll just gradually get used to the pace and everything. But no, it's obviously been a difficult regime, but I feel like I'm getting used to it now.
Change of position, Maka? Is this you now, right back, or are you still going to sort of go back and forth depending on how you feel?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I don't really mind. If you ask any of these boys, I think they'll tell you as well. I don't really care as long as I'm playing on the pitch. Right back or centre back, I don't really have a preference. As long as I'm playing, like I said, and playing well.
hoping to get a few more minutes under your belt, I guess, Matt, then? You know, another game coming up on Thursday evening and a chance to build on what was achieved last night.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get some more minutes, and if I do get a chance, then hopefully I'll impress the manager and hopefully he keeps picking me.
And on a wider note, looking ahead to the season, what are your hopes for the coming year?
Obviously to carry on having involvement with the first team, which I'd appreciate. But no, if I don't play the games for the first team, I'll be happy to get some time under my belt with the 21s. But most important thing for me now is to get minutes under my belt and to continue improving. I think that's what's going to be best for my career.
I guess that's something that you both echo, really, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, definitely. The game time's massive, and like the chance to impress everyone and that, so keeps your fitness high and it's good.
I think definitely try and get some minutes with the first team if I can do. Stay involved, staying around the picture, and keep impressing the manager, like Matt said.